Dignitaries on the dais, luminaries in the audience, ladies and gentlemen. It's indeed a privilege to be here on a day where a number of sections of society, right from the government to the public health professionals, clinicians, media, and most importantly the public, are joining forces together to fight one of the major public health challenges in this country. And Dr. Sareen, of course, deserves the richest congratulations for this. Not only for the leadership he has provided to this outstanding institution, but ensuring that this effort is not confined to the four walls of this Center of Excellence, but now diffuses widely through the community to reach popular awareness and public action. मैं सबसे पहले एक बात आपसे कहना चाहता हूँ. मेरी मातृभाषा तेलुगु में एक कहावत है, शिवजी की आज्ञा के बगैर चिमटी भी नहीं काटती. इस पर व्याख्यान देने का काम तो मैं पंडित लोगों पे छोड़ता हूं, मगर एक बात तो सत्य है कि शिव सरीन जी की आज्ञा तो मैं सदैव पालन करता हूं. उन्हीं के आदेश पर और उन्हीं के आग्रह पर मैं यहां पे आया हूं और इस मंच पे खड़ा हूं. I really do not have much to say when already all the important things that needed to be said or have been said. We have had the public health dimension very clearly outlined both by Dr. Sareen and by Dr. Menabde. We have had the policy dimension very clearly outlined again by the Health Minister, Honorable Shri A.K. Walia ji. Now, since I have been asked to deliver what's been called a public lecture, I will only take up the role of being a member of the public, not talking to the public, but talking as a member of the public, and express my anguish that such an important public health challenge has been highly neglected both in the policy space and even in the area of public media attention. We do pay a lot of attention to HIV/AIDS, and we do need to do that, and of course there is a huge amount of resource and flow to HIV/AIDS. But as Dr. Menabde said, if you look at the comparison of how many people are killed or affected or disabled by viral hepatitis, again we find that there is a huge mismatch between the dimensions of this problem and the amount of attention and resources that are devoted to it. We are not competing with one another. Indeed, when Dr. Sareen was in All India Institute, and as was I mean, he was a gastroenterologist, I was a cardiologist, we were looking after different disciplines and different departments. We may have different duties as doctors. We may even have different duties as people heading different health programs. But when it comes to the health of the people, everything is indivisible. Public health is indivisible. So you cannot afford to neglect one area and pay a lot of attention to the other area to the exclusion of some of the other problems, and that is where I believe we need to bring this particular public health problem to a much greater attention and collective action. Indeed, if we look at even the modes of transmission, HIV/AIDS is transmitted by blood and blood products, by intravenous drug abuse, by sexual contact, all of which are common to some forms of hepatitis. In addition, you also have water, food, the so-called fecal-oral transmission, in which infected water and infected food because of fecal contamination can also spread the disease. You have so many other means also of spreading the disease, some of which are common to both and some of which are not common, like mother-to-child transmission. So, given that HIV/AIDS has similarities as well as some dissimilarities, but the public health dimension is much higher, one would like to see the same level of attention at least being paid to hepatitis, its prevention and timely action in order to ensure immunization as well as other methods of detection and treatment as well. This particular meeting being held in Delhi is of great historical significance also, because in 1955, when the Yamuna was flooded, we had a major epidemic of hepatitis which killed thousands of people. The cause of that, other than it was hepatitis, was not clearly known. It was only when subsequent serological tests were developed later on, in 1990, it came to be known as a new form of the virus, the hepatitis E virus. So there is a historical connotation of how New Delhi actually was associated with a major outbreak for the first time. Now, of course, Yamuna doesn't have much water, so we do not have that threat. But nevertheless, the problem exists because of poor sanitation. And poor sanitation does spread through fecal contamination. A lot of problems are there, because even if the water is in short supply and people take contaminated water because they do not have ready access to adequate amount of clean water, then again there can be a problem. So the problem persists, and in a much more regular way rather than because of occasional floods. So we need to really look at the water supply. So we have actions that need to be taken at different levels. In public health, we need to look at action at the level of populations, that is what is done at the level of a country or a state, at the level of the people, what is done at the level of communities, and at the level of persons, what is done at the level of individuals. And we need action for prevention at all levels. At the population level, we need assured water and sanitation, which is clean services that are provided as public services to ensure we have clean drinking water, adequate waste disposal, particularly of human waste being disposed of in a proper manner so that there is no chance for contamination, proper drainage. All of these are important issues which the policymakers and the government must take responsibility for. And that, I believe, in Delhi, at least we have enlightened leadership which is paying a lot of attention to that particular aspect. At the same time, we need action at the level of communities. And I believe that the Vasant Kunj community has been organized here under the leadership of Dr. Sareen's Institute to become one of the leaders in this community-based effort. Because, again, sanitation is not entirely the responsibility only of the government. What we do in terms of ensuring appropriate sanitation within our own community settings becomes very important. And also promoting health awareness. Health education is something that needs to be propagated across communities, and resident welfare associations can take a major role in spreading health messages within the community. They can educate each other, and that becomes very important again in order to bring about behavior change. Then at the level of persons, individual hygiene becomes very important. Do people wash their hands properly after visiting a toilet? Do they ensure that contamination doesn't get into food while preparation or while serving, or water while it's being served in glasses? All of this becomes very important, whether it is the waiter in the cafeteria or even at home. This becomes very important. So there are methods in which we can actually prevent the spread of the virus by taking a large number of personal precautions as well. And this becomes very important at various levels. We are talking about, for example, and when we are talking about educating people, we are not only educating the person on the street, but we are also talking about educating people in hospital services. One of the areas where this particular virus can be propagated and transmitted to great ill effect is in hospitals where an improper blood transfusion, where same syringes may be used without which ought not to be used, poor disposal of syringes after use. All of these become very important modes of transmission. And we also know that people who are healthcare workers, the nurses, doctors, others working in the hospitals are also at a high risk of getting contaminated, particularly if they are working in intensive care areas, particularly surgical intensive care areas, where they come into contact with blood and blood products quite often. So we know that this is also an important area that we ought to be looking at. So we ought to be talking about educating the people, we ought to be talking about educating the people in health services, and if we actually bring about behavior change across those levels, along with action on social determinants like water and sanitation, we can build up effective barriers for transmission and prevent much of the problem of viral hepatitis in our country. And this is certainly a very important area. So whether it is in terms of even things like ear piercing, nose piercing, I don't know why people going for body piercing, but that's a different